Hello everyone. So the highly anticipated Elden Ring Nightreign is out, and all I can say is that I'm pretty disappointed. And unless they can fix a lot of these issues that I'll talk about in a minute, I don't really see myself playing this for that long, to be honest. So just to get this out of the way, yes, I've played Elden Ring, liked it, and platinumed it. I just have to preface these videos like that because I'll get idiots in my comment section saying I'm just a soul scrub that's getting filtered by a hard game. Not at all the case, just so you know. So the more I play this game, the less I like it, but I am still playing it currently. I haven't given up on it or deleted it or anything like that. But before I get into what I don't like about this game, I just want to say this game is not awful. It's not one of the worst games of the year like some people are treating it. That's just the typical hyperbole in gaming nowadays. It's bullshit. So if you're on the fence about getting this game, don't believe the people saying it's absolutely abysmal. It's not that bad, but is it that good either? Debatable. Honestly, it's one of those games you just have to try for yourself. And just to clarify, the game is fun. It's a lot of fun at times, but man, the highs are high, but for me, the lows are lower, unfortunately. But to begin, the quality standard that From Software is known for, gone. Absolutely gone. For this game specifically, I mean. I'm sure their next single-player game will be just as amazing as they usually are. But this game, it's literally like a different studio made this game. It's buggy as hell. Which ironically, in the ocean of complaints for this game, that is not one complaint that I see often at all. And when I say the game is buggy, I mean like some shit literally just doesn't work. Like, first of all, I couldn't even boot the game up when I first bought it. The game would open and I'd just be stuck on a black screen every time, no matter how long I waited to see if it would boot. It just wouldn't. So that was really my first clue that this game was probably not up to the standard of previous FromSoft releases. I did eventually get it working, and I don't even know what made it work, but thank God it hasn't done it again since then. But again, that was my first clue. Another thing I don't see many people complaining about is that the matchmaking is damn near broken. Like, there has been multiple days where me and my friend would try to queue up to find a third when we didn't have one, and no matter what we tried, we could not find a third player. This game broke 300k players on Steam. There is no excuse for this, and the crazy thing is, sometimes this is a problem, and sometimes it isn't. Some days you'll find players just fine, other days it may not work, period. I also ran into a problem where I was trying to do a remembrance, which are just like little side quests basically in this game. I'll talk more in depth about those later, but it asked me to do something in a match. But correct me if I'm wrong about this. For the quest to count, you have to go to this book and click start remembrance first of all, which takes you to basically an alternate hub world. You must start the quest from this alternate hub world. So what the game wants you to do is go into this world and matchmake. Simple enough, right? One problem: it's completely broken. Matchmaking from the Remembrance world doesn't work no matter what I do. Meaning, I am completely unable to complete that particular quest unless I have a team of 3. Because, you know, if you have a team of 3, there's nothing to matchmake. You just start, right? How do you ship a multiplayer game with no duos, which yes, I know they're adding later. I heard about that. Little to no balancing for solo. So the only real way to play is with 3 players, and there's like a 50% chance that the matchmaking even fucking works. What is that? There's also been a few bugs in game. Not too many, but for example, end of night bosses just randomly sprinting out into the storm so we just can't hit them. And we just have to wait for his AI to stop bugging out. So, you know, we can actually fight. So yeah, the game could definitely be a bit more polished. The next thing I have a problem with is that the passives in this game are just lame. They're weak, especially in comparison to other roguelikes, where you can break the game and be insanely powerful. Now, I'm not saying I want to break the game and just be unkillable. That's not what I'm saying. But the passives are so tame that you hardly even notice a lot of them doing anything. I mean, it's pretty much roguelike 101. You should be able to get powerful. That is quite literally the point of a roguelike. The next problem is that it is way too easy to start a run and almost immediately run into something that will literally one-shot you and potentially your whole party if you're not careful. And I know people are gonna say, well, if you play the game enough, you'll learn what's too strong to fight and what isn't. I don't care. I shouldn't have to have my run screwed because I tried to fight an enemy that I thought was gonna help me get stronger, and little did I know there was no hope in beating that thing at such an early level. I mean, even toward like the end of night 2, you can be doing good, like level 11 or 12ish on night 2, and you will still encounter bosses that pretty much kill you instantly regardless of your class. It just has me asking, like, how much stronger do you want me to be on night 2, dude? It's just stupid. And I know by, like, if you're doing like a really good run, you can be probably max level by mid to the end of night 2, but how hard would it be to just have a threat indicator above boss's head or something that simply tells you how strong an enemy is? Problem solved. It's that easy. And I know someone's gonna say, it's a FromSoft game, it's about trial and error and learning from your mistakes. You know what that's called? wasting my fucking time is what that's called. Every second counts in this game. I'm not exaggerating. If you make your way to a boss on night 1 or 2, God forbid night 2, and he decimates you immediately, not only did you lose that precious time, but if you completely die, you lose a level, which you really cannot afford to lose in this game. That can actually cost you an entire run quite easily, which are typically about 30 minutes in my case so far. So that is not fun trial and error. That's just irritating. Running through an area in Souls and Elden Ring back to a boss or whatever the situation is after dying to something you weren't ready for does not take 20 plus minutes, no matter what game it is. So do not use that argument. It's brain dead. So the next thing is a big one. Reviving is trash in this game. The worst part about it is that if a player goes down 3 times in a boss fight, mostly referring to Night Lords in this case, it is nearly impossible to revive them. You revive teammates by hitting them with your weapon. In this game, you have to hit them until the blue circle drains completely, and if it's their 3rd down, you literally have to hit them like 15 times to get them up. But it gets worse. If you hit them a few times and you get interrupted, you know, the boss swings at you or you run out of stamina or whatever it may be, the revive bar fills all the way back up in like maybe 3 seconds. That's just an off the top of my head guess. It is just way too short of a time before it fills up, and it fills up super fast as well. So God forbid you don't have like 10 seconds to revive your teammate in an intense boss fight. The game punishes you for stopping the revive after, like I said, like 3 seconds. And keep in mind, like I said, you have to stop swinging to get your stamina back. So that just makes the revive process even longer. Not to mention locking on to down teammates is super finicky, and half the time in the heat of combat, you don't have time to be missing swings on your teammate because the lock on refuses to do its job. So with all of this combined, it makes reviving during a boss fight pretty much impossible unless you have a specific character's ultimate ability or something that helps with reviving. Reviving before the 3rd down is not too bad, but let me tell you, a lot of those people in multiplayer will go down 3 times and then be out of the fight permanently. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I go down 3 times in some bosses as well. My friends do as well. I'm not saying I'm so good that it never happens to me. I'm just saying if you are that good to never go down 3 times, I'd bet you any amount of money those people in multiplayer will in fact go down those 3 times. It's unavoidable, and I'm not shitting on those players. It's a hard game, and a lot of people might be new players, so I get it. It also doesn't help newer players that there is almost no communication tools in this multiplayer-centric game to help them know where to go or what to do or anything. It's obviously not a problem if you're talking to like 2 other friends in Discord or whatever, but just having a ping is not enough to know what other people want to do, and some people don't even bother pinging anyway. They just run off and do their own thing. Are they a good player that knows exactly what to do and knows something that I don't? Are they a brand new player that doesn't even know what's going on? Who the hell knows? No one can tell you why they want to go somewhere in particular. Like, there's a million reasons you wouldn't want to just go to the closest point of interest. For example, POIs show you on the map if the gear there has a specific element. You may need that specific element for the night boss. Or if someone finds a stone key, they can spawn an Everjail boss that gets you more rewards. But unless they ping, you won't even know they have a stone key. And what if someone doesn't know about the Everjail boss fights at all? And you have the stone key. You can ping an Everjail on the map that's maybe a bit far away. They will be so confused why we should run a quarter of the map for this thing you pinged instead of something closer. Where if the game had either text chat, comms, voice chat, literally any communication tools, you could simply tell them what it does and why it's worth it and that you have one. Whether they listen or not has nothing to do with the game. So now I'm going to get into the problem I have with the remembrance system. So like I said earlier, these are basically side quests and they unlock a lot of pretty powerful things for whatever character you're doing it for. So how this works is the more Night Lords you defeat, the more progress you make in your remembrance, and I believe there's 3 steps for each character. So the thing is, everyone is trying to do these remembrances, right? Everyone wants to progress their character, obviously. But here's the problem. You cannot do multiple remembrances at once, regardless of what the objective is. Only the host who initiates the remembrance in the first place can progress it. If 2 players need to kill the same Night Lord for their remembrance, those players will do the whole run, kill the boss, and it will only count for the 1 player. So basically you just wasted like 30 minutes of someone's time for pretty much no reason. Now there probably is a reason the game is designed this way, because it seems very deliberate. If you know the reason, please let me know in the comments, but it really just does not work in a game with long runs like this. And God forbid you fail to kill the boss for your remembrance, you're delaying the other person's remembrance even further, because you can't help them with theirs until you complete yours, unless you want to like take turns in each other's world or something, which like Who feels like doing that, right? Another problem with the remembrances that some may not even consider a problem, which is fair, I guess, is that the difficulties of the remembrances, from character to character, vary to an absurd degree. There are characters that you can complete their remembrances in a few hours easy. Like Raiders doesn't even have any actual matches you have to do, from what I remember. Like, I'm pretty sure you kill the required Night Lords to unlock the remembrance in the first place, and then after that you literally just do 3 fights in the hub world and you're done. And the fights aren't all that difficult either. And then I think it was Wilder that has to beat the final boss of the game, and to unlock the final boss of the game you have to defeat 4 separate Night Lords, which yes, you're going to do eventually just by playing the game, yeah, but my point is the amount of effort between different characters is pretty frustrating, to be honest, because obviously everyone wants to max out characters as fast as possible, right? So it is frustrating to do such an easy and quick remembrance and then have to do one that takes twice the amount of hours than you did previously. Is this the biggest deal ever? No, not really, but it is bothersome, in my opinion. Something else that I would like them to improve is the performance. It's weird. The frame rate isn't abysmal. Like, it's worse than it should be, for sure, at least on PC where I've played, but it's not horrible. The bigger problem is this game has major stuttering issues that can very well get you killed. There's been plenty of times where I thought for sure my game had crashed, during boss fights no less, because it would freeze for like a full second, and that's just not okay. Small spoiler for a world event in this game. It's really not that important, but if you want to go in completely blind, skip to the timestamp on screen. So there's a world event where the map changes and there's a snow area on the map, and there's a blizzard that rolls in this area. This blizzard makes me want to fucking uninstall the game. I swear to God, bro. And I'll tell you why. This blizzard rolls in like maybe every minute and a half or so, and when it rolls in, it hurts you, frostbites you, which is a status effect that makes you take more damage from attacks, and worst of all, absolutely tanks your performance. Like, I've dropped down to as low as like high 20s frame rate during this blizzard at times. And this might not be for everyone, but imagine all of that I just described happening every 2 minutes or so, over and over again for as long as you're in the area. Absolutely rage-inducing. I also don't really like the storm closing in on you very much in this game, but it's not for the reasons you think. So there's a lot of very steep, unclimbable cliffs in this game. Like, they're all over the place. So the game has these blue smoke areas that you click X on and you go flying all the way up and over the cliff. Okay, good. That's good design. Elden Ring was the same way, right? The problem here is these jumping spots are not common enough. What does that have to do with the storm, you might ask? Well, so many times the circle has been closing in on me, and I met a cliff that was so massive that the only way around was to run into the storm and either take a ton of damage or possibly even die. And these stupid jump spots are nowhere to be found, and there's no parts of the cliffside to climb either. So you have no choice but to go all the way around and probably waste all your flasks to not die in the storm. If this happened only once or twice, I wouldn't even bring it up, but this happened to me more times than I can count. Just put these jump things all over the place. It'll only make the game more convenient, and you'll waste way less time trying to find a way up. Okay, so the last thing I have an issue with in this game is a bigger deal to some people than others, but the game has no crossplay. A heavily multiplayer-centric game in 2025 has no crossplay. What is up with that? I know FromSoft has never made a multiplayer game, so some of this is excusable to some extent, but no voice chat, no crossplay, and broken matchmaking? Who are you and what have you done with From Software? It's inexcusable regardless of whether they've done a multiplayer focus before. That's all I'm saying. So that's about all the problems I personally have with the game, which ironically, I haven't even seen many people complain about most of this. But yeah, like I said, the game is undeniably fun, but in my opinion, it's not fun because it's Nightreign, it's fun because it's Elden Ring. And as we all know, Elden Ring is amazing. So for the moment-to-moment gameplay to essentially just be Elden Ring, it was bound to at least be enjoyable for people who like Elden Ring. But don't let me sway you from the game. I would largely encourage you to just try the game for yourself, because some people absolutely love the game, and while I don't personally feel that way, I can definitely see why someone would fall in love with it. Plus, it's like $40. It's not a full price game, not by a long shot, so the barrier of entry isn't too crazy. But that's about all I had to say. Let me know what you guys think about the negativity surrounding this game. Do you think it's warranted, or do you think it's undeserving of it? And I know I'm adding to the negativity by making this video, but I gotta speak my mind. You will never see me borrow someone else's opinion on this channel. Everything I say on here is my own thoughts, which I'm not gonna say any names, but there's a lot of creators on here that very clearly just warp their opinion that they say in their videos based on what they think is accepted by either their own audience or just the discussion surrounding the game in general. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.